Welcome, Math 10 students. Today we're going to talk about factoring quadratic trinomials. So we're going to play a little game. Which two numbers multiply to 35 and add to 12? So you need to know what numbers multiply to 35. So 1 and 35, 7 and 5, and I think that's it. So which one of these is going to add to 12? Well, it's 7 and 5. Okay, pause the video and see if you can figure out the other three. So the correct answers you should have: -6 and 2, -12 and +12, -7 and -8. So a trinomial is a polynomial with exactly 3 terms. And the standard form is ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are just numbers. So how do we factor a trinomial? Well, if possible, the first thing you're going to do and always look for is a greatest common factor from all 3 terms. You're going to find the values of a, b, c, and then you're going to multiply a times c together. Then you're going to find the values of the product a and c that add to the value of b. You're going to copy the first and last term. In between the first and last term, you're going to add the factors found in step 4 with the x's attached. And then we're going to factor by grouping. You could also check that the trinomial is factored correctly by multiplying the 2 factors together. So let's try that. Okay, in my first example, I'm going to find my values of a, b, and c. So a is the number in front of x squared, which is just 1. My b is -10, and my c is 24. Okay, there is no greatest common factor here, so I just move on. I'm going to take a times c, 1 times 24, which is 24. And I have to find the 2 numbers that add to -10. So let's see, -6 and -4. Those multiply to +24, add to -10. So I'm going to rewrite my polynomial, writing the first and last term, but in the middle, I'm going to use these 2 numbers with x's attached. And then I'm going to factor by grouping. So I group my first 2 and my last 2 together. And then I'm going to look for a GCF in here. What can I pull out? I can pull out an x to give me x minus 6. And here I can pull out a -4 to give me x minus 6. I know I'm on the right track because these match. So in my first one, I'm going to take x minus 4, the 2 numbers I pulled out, and x minus 6. And those are my 2 binomials that I factored. Okay, in my second one, my a is 1, my b is -2, and my c is -8. Okay, there's no greatest common factor here. Nothing goes into 1, 2, and 8. So I'm going to take a times c, which is -8, and it's going to add to be -2. So I have to play the game and find those 2 numbers, which is -4 and +2. I'm going to rewrite this. I'm going to write my first term, write my last term, and in the middle, I'm going to use these 2 numbers with x's attached. group my first two, group my last two. What can I pull out of this first grouping? I can pull out an x, which leaves me with x minus 4. What can I pull out of the second grouping? A 2 to give me x minus 4. Am I on the right track? Yeah, because those two match. So my first binomial is going to be x plus 2, the two numbers that I pulled out. And my second binomial is going to be x minus 4. Okay, if I look at example 3, I've got 4, 6, and 18. There is a greatest common factor I can pull out. I can pull out a 2 from each of these to leave me with 2n squared plus 3n minus 8, not 18, because I have to pull out a 2, so that's going to give me 9. Okay, so this is what I'm working with, what's on the inside. So my A is 2, my B is 3, and my C is negative 9. And I continue on the same way I have. I'm going to multiply A times C, negative 18, and I got to find two numbers that add to B, my 3. So that is going to be negative 6 and positive 3. So I rewrite 2n squared minus 9, and in the middle I'm going to put my two special numbers I found with x's attached. And I'm going to factor by grouping. Group the first term and the last term. Okay, what did I do wrong here? Okay, I have n's, so I should be using n's here. We just say x's because that is usually what we have, but always use the variable that it gives you, n and n. So in my first one, I can pull out a 2n, which gives me n minus 3. In my second one, I can pull out a 3 to give me n minus 3. Stop, check. Are we on the right track? Yes, because both of our binomials match here. So I have 2n plus 3 and n minus 3. Okay, looking at 4, do I have a greatest common factor? I do. I can pull out a 3. Okay, so that gives me 2x squared minus x minus 6. So I'm going to multiply a times c, which gives me negative 12, and it's got to add to negative 1, which is negative 4 and positive 3. So I'm going to rewrite 2x squared minus 4x plus 3x minus 1. Group my first two, group my last two. Let's see, what can come out? Oh, this should be a 6. What can come out of the first one? A 2x. And I get x minus 2. What can come out of my second one? A positive 3. And I get x minus 2. Am I on the right track? Yes. Okay, so my first one is 2x plus 3, x minus 2. Okay, so what about that greatest common factor we pulled out? Where does that go? Well, those should go out in front and still be included in the final answer. So make sure you don't forget that greatest common factor that you pulled out at the beginning.